present something different. I'm Stefano Lena, VP Sales and Marketing of Contactlab. Contactlab is a technical and email service provider. So what we do is helping companies to engage through digital direct marketing with customers. Just to give you an idea, we send out email, SMS, and push notification integrated to the e-commerce site, but not only. And to give a rough number, we send out 80 million email per day on more or less 150 countries worldwide in 25 languages. But today we will discuss and present how transactional emails, so the service mail that are integrated into an e-commerce site, into Magento, can boost sales, so can drive business. So let's start from the end. Let's raise the bar. So first of all, transactional emails are the most open and the more frequently open ever. So 70% of all the transactional emails are open within 3 hours you send out. Why? Because customers expect to get that email. So if I subscribe to a website, I want to know that I'm subscribed, so I want to receive a welcome email. If I do any action on a website, because as I have a business relationship, I want to receive a feedback. So that's why these are expected and open. More important, we measure that transactional emails, if well done, and we will discuss that later, can generate 2 to 5 times business, so sales, than any other editorial newsletter email. And up to 50% of the transactional emails or the welcome emails as an open rate. The open rate of the welcome emails is 50%. So it's typically double a standard open rate of a normal email. So that's why transactional emails are relevant, and they should be designed and used properly to boost sales. To underline that content even more, we are lucky to have a lot of sales transactions from our customers, so we are able to track how much the digital direct marketing is influencing sales. Typically what we do is sending out a campaign or sending out a transactional email, looking who opened and clicked the email, and if that person then buy, we connect the dots and we are able to see if there has been enough influence. So over the last 3 years, we are measuring a panel of customers, and we measure that between 3 and 6% of all the retail sales, so the sales in a store, that is also related to e-commerce anyway, are influenced by digital direct marketing communication, and more than 50% of the sales on an e-commerce site are influenced by an email. This is why it's relevant, and it's even more relevant if you consider that in the last 3 years, more than 70% growth we have on that path. So what we do is to help companies to grab customer back into the store, and that's what is important, because if you open a store but no one come in, you will never sell. So that's our job, to get people back into the store, or to get people into the store through pushing them a right message. So what we are going to discuss today, so we are showing you some data of a European study we are running since the last 4 years about the digital behaviors of European customers. We are explaining what are transactional emails, which are the best practices and case study to make, and what is the solution you should adopt or integrate into your e-commerce site to make it right. So this is a study we are running since 4 years. We just released the new one. It's a European panel of customers we interview. Obviously, we are interviewing the key countries, consumers, but is a panel of more than 25,000 consumers over Europe. It's interesting because of the data you can see. First of all, this is European community data. In Europe, 70% of the population between 16 and 65 years old is using internet, so they are considered online internet user. If you look our panel that is made by British, German, Swiss, French, Spanish, and Italians, they are all above the average, so above 70%. If you look how many of them are buying online, there is a high variances. So like almost every British or German is buying online. If you look Spain or Italy, they are only at 50%. So there is, and I believe that in Poland here will be more or less the same level. That means there is still a huge space of improvement. So still a lot of space for making money, boosting an e-commerce into these countries. If you look what the customers, what the users are doing over internet, clearly the first activity they do is reading and sending emails. That's also why if you send them a right email, they will, and they want to receive that email. Obviously, we are speaking of people that are subscribed, obviously, to a newsletter or to a website. So we are not speaking of spam. They will read it. So that's the first thing they do. Obviously, they read newsletter and news. Very important, the third activity everybody's doing is searching and surfing online for products and services they want to buy, either online, either in store. So it's important that anyway that the e-commerce help customers to get the right information to help them buying, maybe in a store, but in any case, now you're driving sales. Last, so at first place, online stores, obviously, online shopping. As you have seen before, there is a high variance, but still is pretty high, between 43% in Italy to up to 93% in UK. Very interesting also is the device penetration, because that is important to understand how to design the website and how to design emails also. So clearly, so people are still using desktop as most. However, if you see the smartphones is 59%, and more relevant, a third of the internet population is using so it's a triple player user, so using smartphones, tablet, and devices. So it's very important that you design your website thinking mobile, because everybody, like a lot of people, and it's growing pretty much, is using mobile to make, to buy online. We have a customer in the luxury segment. They have single sales transaction of over $10,000 using mobile phones. I'm not kidding, it's true. So there are people that trust brands and make big purchases online on a mobile phone today. What they buy, which categories, and on which stores. So in terms of population, I'm not speaking of volumes of sales or of dollars. Fashion is number one. So the number one category that consumer buy is fashion, or like apparel product. Then second is travel and leisure, and third is beauty and cosmetics. I think that is true everywhere, not only in Europe. And then what is interesting is that most of the still number one, except in the country where there is a big player worldwide, American, the number one channel they buy is the brand channel, so companies that own stores and has also an e-commerce site. So now building also omni-channel models that integrate online and offline is very important. Then obviously number two is vertical e-commerce, so brands or multi-brand retailers for like on a product category like sporting goods or like specific outdoor categories, and then multi-brand e-commerce. So These are like data that we provide. We just released a report few weeks ago. It's available for purchase if you want. Anyway, so what are transactional emails? Just to go to the point. So transactional emails are typically the service email. So any message that is linked to an action that a customer does on a website. So a welcome email or a change password email are transactional emails. These are the most relevant and the most expected from customer. So it's very important that our design and like built right in your business process relationship with your customers. So, and if you look how the difference between transactional emails and bulk emails, so the typical newsletter, that emails are, as I said, sent on a trigger, so for any action that generates an email, against the bulk emails that are just sent out by the decision of like the marketing department. Then are service related, so the content of a transaction email as a service by definition inside, like, oh, thank you for purchasing, or this is your new password, etc. However, often that emails are ugly. They are not designed to sell. They're just designed thinking that, oh, it's just a service email, who cares? That is the biggest mistake you can make. And normally are not managed by the brand. So the brand typically manages the newsletter, all the bulk campaigns, very well designed, but they leave, because they think it's service, to the e-commerce site, or even sometimes just connecting a standard SMTP system to send them out, and technically sometimes they go on spam. So this is why you should design transaction email better. So if you look at some cases, what do you think is the best? Like, I think is obvious, but if you think all the website you have gone through, I receive a lot of welcome emails written in Times New Roman with the text. Now, this is also good because there is a call to action conceptually, even if it's a text message. However, sometimes you receive an email, thank you for subscribing, that's it. If you look the other one that is well designed, it describes exactly what a customer will get from the service he subscribed, and allow the customer immediately to go online and make a purchase. And that's what you should do when you design every single transaction email. So a transaction email should be designed, or this is an idea of what should design the transaction email. So this is the anatomy of a good transaction email. First of all, the sender should be immediately recognized, so not like a generic sender like info at whatever, but should be related to the brand and should have maybe a specific relationship to the service, like using 3-level URL is good. So like, for example, order dot name of the brand.com is good. So you know that you place an order and you're receiving the email from orders or something similar. Then the subject should be compelling. So you should tell the customer what is the reason why you're sending that email. Like, oh, welcome on board. This is your coupon if you want to start purchasing with us. It's very useful to have a pre-header. The pre-header is the 2-3 lines you typically read on a client, and that is very relevant on a mobile phone. So you can read immediately what the email it's meant for, and people maybe will read it more because the subject is not enough. Sometimes in that 3 lines what is written is, if you don't read this email, please go to this link. It's a wrong way. It's like now making a tweet telling nothing. So it's a wrong way to use few data that are immediately visible to the customer, not telling him the wrong information. It's very good if you put on an email a navigation bar that typically mimic, it's similar to the navigation bar you should have a menu you should have on the e-commerce site. So if you have a navigation bar that is clickable on the email, you help the customer immediately going online and buy or do the service that is looking for. It's important that you have a structured content, so depending what you want to deliver to the customer. So if you want to push a specific product and then making some like additional product below, like this one, this is a 1+3 email model. So it should be structured depending what you want to deliver as a message. And then you need to have a footer that introduce all the elements that are relevant in terms of the service, like the privacy policy, very important. So the unsubscription, very clear. If you make delivery and returns, any contact channel that the customer can use. So everything that is relevant to have a good service level with the customer. But what is most important, do not forget ever to put a call to action in the email. So you need always to have something that is clickable, then bring you back into the e-commerce site. Otherwise, you're wasting, as we said at the beginning, an opportunity. So that's the logic. If you look how many opportunities you have to engage with customers and get them back into the store. These are a list of, and probably the comprehensive list of all the different service transactional emails you have on an e-commerce site. So even like a password change, the extreme, making extreme, a password change can be used to give information to a customer different to the password and bring him back into the store. Like you can always say, now, okay, that's your new password. However, if you want to come and buy, this is a new opportunity. We have customers that change the welcome email every 2 weeks in line with the promotion they have on the store, on the e-commerce site. So just being fresh in the message and being compelling of what is in promotion at that moment. So it's important to make it right. Now, it could be then complicated, say, oh, there are 20, 30 different service messages. I have to design a different model. No. We made an analysis and we designed, and these are available for Magento, 5 templates that are well designed. They are responsive, obviously. They can work on any, more than 50. We tested more than 50 different clients combined with different mobile phones. They represent the overall services possible. So with these 5 templates, and you can design by yourself, okay? So you don't need you can cover the entire range of the services. Then, what is relevant, you should connect that template with dynamic contents based on the behavior experience of the user. So, like, I bought something, you get an email for thank you with an additional product that you could buy. Or if you abandon a cart, you should send the list of the products that you left on the cart, etc. So, as I said, we designed a plugin for Magento, but again, any plugin you would like to integrate should consider, or you should design the website considering that way to integrate the transactional emails instead of using the standard service level emails. So these are examples that we made with some of our customers. There are no brands, but some maybe are you can recognize. This is a French ticketing service provider. What they are doing is sending out email alerts based on the past sales of a customer, so the preferences on new shows. so the customer can receive and with trigger events. So if you go on the website, then you receive anyway an email saying, oh, by the way, these are the shows that could be relevant or you could be interested in. This is a company car, maybe easy to recognize. This is a welcome email designed for mobile and for desktop. It shows immediately the concept or the spirit of the brand and give the pace of now what you will get from the website and asking you to get immediately on the merchandising website and buy and make the experience, the car experience, if you can. This is another nice example because integrate omni-channel, the e-commerce and the stores. This is a click and collect email. So you go online, you can make a purchase. It's an expensive luxury good brand. So you can buy online, but you can collect into the store. Why you should do that? Because you're spending a lot of money, you want to try the product, for example. Doing so, you can make a lot of upselling into the store. So you buy online, but you bring the customer into the store, helping him or her to take a look to something else. And you know already what he bought. So you can now be very, very specific in proposing something else. And this is very powerful way. Obviously, if you see, the email already point to the closest store. You can go to collect and give you relevant information specific to the customer depending where the customer is based. These are examples, but again, what the message I wanted to bring you is now build all this service email in a way that now bring back customer to buy. So how you have, so what do you have to do to make it? So what are the ingredients you need to integrate your e-commerce site with a good transactional emailing system? First of all, you need to use a professional service like our, but like if you go on the Magento marketplace, you can find several. So there is also a large competition making that services. So, but you should use an SMTP professional service that allow you to, one, build an integration, have statistics, so have all the tracking of the open and clicks the customer does, and exchange that information with the e-commerce site. And more important, help you making a good deliverability of the emails. Probably you don't know, but more than 90% of the messages sent over the web are even not received by any client. They are blocked by the server before. There is a lot of garbage going around internet that ISP, so the Gmail, Hotmail, are blocking in advance. And typically these guys that are receiving tons of emails are using algorithms to stop spamming. So if you don't have a light level of reputation, you risk to get into the spam easily. So you need to have a system that at least is, we say, deliverability neutral, so that help you going directly into the inbox of your client. So this is the first element you need to have. That system should be integrated into your Magento e-commerce site. Otherwise, that doesn't work. So you should have a data synchronization in and out, exchanging data from the e-commerce site to the email system and vice versa. You need to build automatic interaction with customers, so you need to be able into Magento to build for the transaction you want to make compelling, to build the email and sending out automatically with the email, so automatic generated content. So like if a customer go through the website looking for specific product categories, you should send email saying, hey, maybe you should like this, and this should be really relevant for what he look at. The same if he has a past history of orders. Again, now you should send him recommendations that are related to what he purchased. So these templates should be dynamically generated, dynamically fed by data that you exchange between Magento and the email system. Obviously, using the navigation history of the consumer, the user, like, and also using the orders, and I make use some example maybe later. And so that should be tightly integrated. So you should have some backend into Magento that enable you designing and driving the email system in the backend. Otherwise, this doesn't work. So, suggestion is now that system should be integrated with the Magento Enterprise system, the multi-store, multi-website installation, especially if you are a service provider that want to deliver that system to several merchants, or if you are a merchant with several stores. As I said, the integration should be automatic. It's important to have a system that integrates both newsletters for guests and transactional emails for people that are logged into the system and purchasing online. So, and you should manage correctly and tightly all the subscribe, unsubscribe process. That is very important, especially in Europe, where there are strict privacy regulations, and so you should be good in unsubscribing people if they don't want to receive emails anymore. And as I said, you need to configure the templates directly from Magento in order to push dynamic contents from Magento into the email with a professional system. And the most important things you should make are abandoned cart email that help increasing sales. Wish list reminder is very important, because people that are your client, if you suggest them, if you recommend them things to buy, probably they will buy back. And obviously, exporting all the transactional data to the email system to help the email system, if it's able, to again make the right recommendation to user. Make you an example of a few data that is useful to transfer. It's not a huge amount of data, so you don't have to transfer all the raw transactions, so all the raw sales to the email system. But just with these few like last order that a customer have done, the total orders that a customer done in aggregated, so total value, total number of product that he purchased, number of orders he made, and the average orders, so the average value and the average number of products he bought, and also what has been the last order within a couple of, this can be configurable, couple of time frames. These information are already very useful to make a lot of interest triggering email, like re-engagement email, rewards email. I make an example, like you go and buy something for a certain period of time on e-commerce, and then you stop. So you, after like under 20 days, you don't buy anymore. You get back to the store. Maybe it could be a good idea to send a coupon to this person to re-engage him and say, hey, oh, welcome back. It's a long time, we are missing you. Okay, so with this information you can make a lot of rewarding activities and making right. Like you need to consider the combination. Like I have been on a very famous, big worldwide e-commerce site. What they do is looking only your last action. So I went for my wife looking for a pan. looking for like some domestic stuff. I never bought on that website anything like that. I am only buying music and books. They are sending me emails recommending me pants everywhere. They are pushing me with a lot of advertising on the web on that last click I did. They didn't look to my sales history at all. If they would have combined my sales history with my last click, maybe the system should be more intelligent and say, hey, this guy went by chance looking for that product. However, he's only buying music. So just push music again. So you need to be intelligent in the way, depending the product you buy, the kind of relationship you have with your customers, you need to be intelligent in how you automate that information. Otherwise, it's like, it's just looking the last action you've done. You need to look now the sales history of that person. If I'm going to purchase a lot, often, very little amount, don't push me the highest product because I bought a lot. I'm the high spender. I'm an high spender, but I buy a lot of stuff that is low value. So just push me low value products. Okay? These are the kind of activity you can make if you integrate the two systems together. So in conclusion, so to be effective, an e-commerce website should be integrated with in the right way with an e-commerce system. The email system is prolonging the experience, so helping you to bring the customer back. Continue to make the relationship between the previous purchase and the customer and getting him back. And help that demand going and generating a one-to-one relationship between the site and the customer. That's the idea that we wanted to deliver to you, and we believe that that is helping really a lot, boosting sales, as we said at the beginning. So generating a lot of more value to e-commerce. So I hope that you appreciated the concept. If you want more information and understand more, I am available. I will be here all the day and also tomorrow. And you can also download from our website all the information. We have delivered the plugin on Magento free of charge, and is on GitHub, so everybody can also extend that plugin, and we would recommend system integrators to do it and work with us to make it even more compelling to help merchants to drive more sales into their stores and make more business. Thank you very much.